Ballyhoo and welcome. The Passion Project continues. My name is Remedy Robinson, and this is an appreciation. This is an exploration of linguistics, language, and the subtle joy of exploitation, as framed by the peerless poetry of the modern-day master, Elvis Costello. Today's slow drag is with Spooky Girlfriend from When I Was Cruel, released in 2002. The songwriting is credited to Elvis Costello. As individual as each song on this album is, including Dust 2 and Dust, there's a mischievous, nearly brutal cohesiveness that runs through each word uttered. The result is a timeless worldscape in which to traipse around in. There's a confidence, a boredom, a forthright doublespeak that flows from one piece into the next. Spooky Girlfriend, with what seems to be not so subtle hidden messages sprinkled about, exhibits all the conflicting attributes of subterfuge and sincerity that we've come to admire from this singular voice. Each slow drag, as you know, is dedicated to the genius of the words themselves, but sometimes it's difficult to not comment on, say, two-hued bees on the cover and a reference to an album title of a former flame's former flame. Or is it their daughter? If any of this sounds cryptic, then you've just not been paying attention, as Mr. Costello himself has tweeted a time or two in different context, of course. Do keep up. I want a girl to make a mess. To do no wrong she must confess, and then perhaps hitch up her dress, 'cause when the flashbulbs explode, she's such a sensitive soul. I simply love the jockeyed syntax Mr. Costello uses from time to time. To do no wrong she must confess is an excellent example of this penchant. It not only sustains the rhyme, it complicates the meaning in a lovely, infuriating way. The only way to confess is to have something you've done wrong, or so I thought. The verse is set down in an AAABB structure that crams in a lot of imagery and exposition in a very small frame. The woman he describes up to this point puts me in mind of the one who's briefly mentioned in London's Brilliant Parade from Brittle Youth. She's one of those girls that you just can't place. You feel guilty for desiring such an innocent face, but of course they knew that when they cast her. Sex appeal, hitching up her dress, and then of course a little bit of this year's girl when the flashbulbs explode. There's a wonderful dichotomy about people in the public eye that Mr. Costello captures beautifully. I want a girl who's helpless and frail, who won't pull on my ponytail. I want a girl who has no past. She's made up now, but that won't last. 'Cause when she sits on my knee, and then she whispers to me, can't you see? Could be, your spooky girlfriend. I could be your spooky girlfriend. Mr. Costello's word choice is once again uniquely culled from his singular poetic vision. With so many adjectives to choose from, what word conveys more than spooky? It's both playful and ominous. It's suggestive, yet non-committal. It's confessional and cagey at the same time. This growing laundry list of wants reveals perhaps that there is no such woman who could ever fit this very specific description. Flip the script, however, and you'll find an irreverent woman with reams of biographical information, a familiar face, maybe. The whispered part at the end feels as if it needs no flipping, no perspective. I can absolutely believe someone, or many someones, has sat on a famous knee or two and uttered such proclamations. It's the real life version of, I don't want to be your lover, I just want to be your victim. And the broken toys are scattered in the attic, and the newspapers play in the words of the fanatic, and the greeting cards are your most poetic lyric, and the flat champagne is sweet sugar syrup. As with the jockeyed syntax, I also adore the opposite day sentiments of greeting card saccharine and non-effervescent dryness. There are some seriously conflicted emotions being bandied about. Fanatic, groupie, muse, perhaps these terms might be interchangeable in this respect. What is more, I can't imagine it's a coincidence that these broken toys are found in the attic. Now, I don't want to come right out and say it, since it's not what we're here for, but come on, these clues can pique the interest of the most disinterested, can't they? I want to paint you with glitter and with dirt, picture you with innocence and hurt. The shutter closes, exposes the shot. She says, "Are you looking at my skirt?" When you say, "No," she says, "Why not?" More opposites whizzing by in this sultry scenario, glitter and dirt, innocence and hurt. They call back to the first verse, perhaps, of two opposing realities butting up against one another. The photography references in this piece take us right back to the iconic cover art of this year's model. The flashbulbs that explode are now joined by the shutters that expose. The use of the word expose is brilliantly placed, but can almost get lost in the mix when one of the best lines ever comes right after it. When you say no, she says, "Why not?" It seems impossible to not be transported back to the first time we heard this unexpectedly saucy line. Well, I ask you, what is better than the first time we hear these wonderful lines for the first time? Why, hearing them for the millionth time and still getting a tingle out of them, of course. I want a girl to turn my screw, to wind my watch, to buckle my shoe. And if she won't, her mother will do. 'Cause when she does as she's told, we'll all turn platinum and gold. But when she sits on my knee, I hear her whispers to me, "Can't you see I could be your spooky girlfriend?" The list of demands keeps growing. Instead of outward attributes such as helpless and frail, however, now it's the demands that spark the narrator's own baser nature, perhaps, attributes that overtly speak to the libido. It seems difficult to expose your own wants and desires like this. I'm trying to stay focused, but the line about how the mother will do takes me right back to the album cover art, the mention of a fanatic, and of course the toys in the attic. If she does as she's told, big things happen for those who fall under her spell. Dig it. Again, this has been a slow drag with Spooky Girlfriend from 2002's When I Was Cruel. It's a rare slow drag when I call upon circumstances and personal history rather than sticking faithfully to the lines themselves. Interestingly, when I hear this piece at full speed, as I've done for over 20 blissful years now, it's a fun, rollicking pop song about complicated love, unmet needs, and particular tastes, with no particular personal information seeping in to distract from the wonderful vibe of it all. It's only when it's slowed down do I find what some might call Easter eggs. Never before, for instance, did I suspect the line about the broken toy scattered in the attic might be related to the album cover's not-so-hidden message. Then again, I could be completely wrong. That's the best part of poetry, interpretation. And that's it for today's slow drag, my friend. Thank you for listening. Other gems from When I Was Cruel you'll enjoy a slow drag with are episode 2, And You Only Wanted to Be Famous. It's a slow drag with Alibi. Episode 42, A Creature of Habit. It's a slow drag with Tart. Episode 49, Every Twisted Grudge. That's a slow drag with Soul for Hire. Episode 63, I'm Counting on You. It's a slow drag with the delightful My Blue Window. Episode 81, Gentle Airs. That's a slow drag with Radio Silence. And episode 98, It's a Legitimate Expense. That's a slow drag with the barn-burning episode of Blonde. You can find me on social media and all the usual places. I'd love to hear from you. Just search for my name, Remedy Robinson, or the name of my podcast, Slow Drag with Remedy. Also, please visit slowdragwithremedy.com for companion transcripts and other useful information. I'll be back soon with another slow drag, so please subscribe so you won't miss an episode. And as always, thank you for helping to get the word out about this little passion project. Truly, it means the world. So, until next time, adieu, my little ballyhoo. Slow drag with Remedy.